No matter how hard I work, I still can't save enough for a mortgage.
The bills keep piling up. I just don't know how to get out of debt.
I want to stay fit and eat healthy, but honestly, where do I even start?
How do I know if he is the right person? I'm scared. I don't want to make a mistake.
These are real questions. Questions we all face at one point or another. And in celebration of the 16th anniversary of City of David, Stevenage, we present our Syndicate sessions from City Studios, where your questions will find real answers. From finances to fitness, from career to calling, from love to life balance. Our community of professionals and experienced voices will share biblical wisdom, tools, and insights to help you transform your journey. Join us Saturday, 18th of October 2025 from 8 a.m. live on our YouTube channel, City Studios, where real questions meet real answers.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our show. So the show today is about navigating the career pathway in UK. My name is Toyin Keshiro. I'm one of the women coordinators. I've been in church for over 15 years, and I'll be facilitating the talk show for today. And on the panel today, we have our lovely guest. She's a vice president of HR with 18 years experience. Her name is Jacqueline Owolabi. So Jacqueline is a mom of two. She combines her experience of shaping people and culture strategies. She has passion, talent, and development with a real-world insight on balancing the career and life. Outside the office, Jacqueline is a committed gym goer and a traveler and a lover of home life. She shares her journey to inspire and help others to build a rewarding career while enjoying the moments that matters the most. So can we welcome Jacqueline Owolabi? Welcome, Jacqueline Owolabi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sister Green. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. I am delighted to be invited to the show this morning. Thank you.
So welcome once again, Jacqueline. So that brings me to my first question. And the first question is, what are the most common mistakes employees make when they try to advance, and how can we avoid them?
I love that question. It's one that I do get asked often. I think the most common mistake that I have seen play out is that people tend to focus more on their technical capabilities, and then they neglect the softer skills. In the UK, I would arguably say that we, for the most part, we much prefer, or employers much prefer, softer skills to actual technical capabilities or abilities. Technical capabilities, just doing a quick distinction between them, technical capabilities are those skill sets that you actually do learn for the most part. So if you are a project manager, for example, things like Prince 2 and all those nice certifications, those are the technical abilities. And then the softer skill sets, which will be things like communication, how you influence people, how people listen to you, how you collaborate with other people. These are the softer skills that many people tend to neglect. I find that we're largely talking, the bulk of the people that we are referencing today are people that come from West Africa. And I find that in higher institutions in West Africa, these are not the focus of the the teachings. These are not the focus of the courses that people take. It is largely focused on the technical capabilities. So then moving to the UK, we find that people start to find it a little bit difficult to adjust because they have been so focused on their technical capabilities. My advice is that as you are now based in the UK and looking to continue your career in the UK, you should avoid any pitfalls where you are, again, only focusing on that technical capabilities. You need to learn how to get your employer to help you to start focusing on those softer skills. So things like asking people for regular feedback, taking ownership of your own development, and then intentionally going out of your way to collaborate, working on different projects that cut across the specific role that you are doing. And you would find that that certainly helps you start to build on the softer skills that are just as important.
Thank you very much. That's very comprehensive. Thank you very much. So that moves me on to my next question, which is, how can I effectively communicate my career goals to management without seeming dissatisfied in my current role?
See, that again can be a tricky one because you obviously want to balance that conversation so that it doesn't sound like you are looking to escape, if that makes sense. So it's really about you positioning that conversation with your employer so it sounds like you are looking to grow within that organization, growth that will ultimately help the organization that you are working in. So if your organization is going to be putting the effort to help you grow, I think the goal that you should be projecting is that you want to use that growth to support your organization. One of the best approaches that I found works the best is by expressing your willingness to grow first in your current role. So I understand that, obviously, even as children of God, we want to continue to progress, and move beyond other roles, I beg your pardon. However, when you are having that conversation with your employer, the first focus should be that you are looking to grow within the current scope of the role that you are undertaking. Following that, you should then express that you are also looking to contribute to the company's goals. This is clearly can be easily done by linking whatever aspirations you have with the company's goals. So for example, if your organization is looking to, all organizations are always looking for, whether new sales or new clients in some shape or form. If you express your goals to align with what the company's ultimate goal is, your employer is also more likely to listen. Another thing that you can do is to frame whatever that desire you have in accordance with the wider goals of the other people that you work with. You don't want to be seen as someone who is not a team player, someone who likes to do something by themselves and not carry other people along with them. So whatever ultimate goals you are looking to ask your employer to support you with, any career goals, look to involve either your immediate team or the growth of other teams that you are likely to be working for or working with. So as an example, when you are having these conversations, one of the things that you can say would be that, clearly that you have either worked in a certain role for however long, 6 months, 12 months, what are the prospects of moving forward or like growing within that role. Again, you should be having regular conversations with your manager, whether it be, for me, regular conversation is once a week. Anything beyond that is no longer regular conversation. If you wait to only have conversations at the point of performance reviews, it's already too late. I can tell you for free, it's already too late. So you should be looking to have regular conversations with your line manager where you are clearly communicating your progress, the things that you have achieved. Pro tip, have a list. I like to do it on a spreadsheet. Have a list of things that you have achieved. Don't wait until performance review season and then you're trying to remember the things that you did 8 months ago. You are only going to remember the big wins at that point. So really, even the everyday tasks where you got a feedback from someone in a different team telling you how great you performed in such and such. If you are documenting these things on a regular basis, you would remember that and you would include it in that spreadsheet. So please do not wait until performance review season to communicate what your goals and aspirations are. This should be done on a regular basis in your one-to-ones with your line manager. So even if your line manager hasn't scheduled it, be proactive, take the initiative and put something in their diaries. If you work in a field where it's not really computer-based for the most part, still have regular conversations with your line manager. In fact, the more conversations you have with these people, the more likely they are to like you. I'm sorry to say, but all of these things are still proven to show that the more you like someone, the more likely you are to support them to progress. Whether rightly or wrongly, we are human beings, and this is just how we are naturally wired. So the more times you speak with someone and you are able to communicate your desires, your goals, your aspirations, they are then more likely to take you seriously and then support you through those goals. So don't wait for them, be proactive and take the right step.
Well, thank you very much for that, Jacqueline. So that brings me nicely to my next question, which is, how does the career progression, how does it work in the UK?
Oh, okay. Now, this is not going to be a one-size-fits-all. So I will be a bit broad in my response to that question. Many of us come from backgrounds where your progression is largely structured or is largely dependent on your length of service. Not in the UK. You can be in one role for 30 years and many people don't even want to be promoted. Many people don't want to progress. Like, that's just the role that they want to be doing. And that's absolutely fine. Every organization actually needs people like this. Not everyone needs to progress laterally within an organization. But if you are the type that wants to progress, I'm not, for the intent and purpose of this conversation, I'm not going to focus that progression purely on lateral movement, because to me, progression can also be horizontal. If you are looking to progress in the UK, you must be willing to work within multiple projects. So you must have project-based experiences. And when I say project-based, the project there is not referring anything specific to project management, for example. I'm just saying that if you are I'm trying to think of a random role now. If you are an IT specialist, what roles or what projects could you work on that would likely involve the legal team? If you are in the legal team, what role can you work on that will potentially help the HR team? All teams within organizations are linked, and your involvement with each of these teams will largely depend on not just your role, but how involved you are looking to be. If you are willing to progress, you must be seen as someone who can easily work with multiple teams in order to deliver strong results for your organization. Again, in West Africa, most organizations are structured so that one team is working in a silo, another team is working in a silo, and that does not work in the West. For the most part, teams have to collaborate very, very closely in order for for us to have the goals basically to be reached. So this is what we aspire to do. For your growth, I strongly recommend that you continue to look out for those opportunities that will ultimately provide you with working with multiple teams, so that when you come to the formal promotion season, you will automatically have many people who would have already started talking about how they worked with you throughout the year and would have already started recommending you for even potentially coming to work on their team, bigger projects that you can be involved in. But unless you make yourself visible, that's not going to happen. So absolutely is key visibility within your organization. If you want to progress, your results must be visible. You cannot be, oh, the Bible says that we should be humble. Therefore, I achieved a result. I don't want anyone to know. I've prayed about it. I want to be humble. Jesus is Lord, and Jesus is Lord. But you must also let the world know that as a child of God, the Holy Spirit has helped you and equipped you so that you have been able to achieve such and such and such and such through the help of the Holy Spirit. And people start recommending you in that time. You wouldn't even need to say, promote me. No, people automatically within these multiple teams that you have worked with or for start recommending you for progression. So to summarize what I was saying, in the UK, it really is a blend of your performance, your potential, how proactive you can be. The system really rewards you for demonstrating these efforts. So please take it, if you have been stuck in the loop of, technical, whatever, I need to keep acquiring such and such, I need to keep studying, I need to do this, that's great. But that would not get you to the quickest points that you are looking to get to.
Wow, thank you so much. That was very, very detailed. I have one more burning question.
Sure.
So I'm currently on a sponsorship visa in the UK, and I'm hoping to transition into another field in the future. How would you advise me to plan in preparation for this shift?
Good question. I like that one. Yeah, you are right. Being on a sponsorship visa can limit, some of the paths that you may choose to take. So it's great that people are already starting to focus on how they can start to move from one industry to another. Now, with sponsorship visas, whilst you are still being sponsored by your current organization, it is important that you start researching whatever industry you would like to go into. I'm assuming if you have asked this question, or the person that has, or to who this question might be applicable to, if you are being sponsored by an organization in a specific industry, it's easy to move industries with that same sponsorship because you already have the experience. It's not a big deal. You just find a different employer, you do the interview, you're hired. But if you are looking to change industry, i.e., you've come in on a care worker visa, and you are looking to move to you would like to become, I don't know, a teacher, for example, I would strongly recommend that you start researching what the entry level into that industry will be. So, first route is, what are the qualifications that are required there? Things that you can start doing whilst you are still gainfully employed by your current employer. Start seeking any, as I said, courses that are necessary. Dig into those. What is the entry level route for this role? What is the salary? Because again, salary is important for everyone. People would say, oh, it's not really, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. Everybody does a job for a salary. So what is the salary level for the industry that you are looking to move into? And then you need to start researching those and then planning towards starting to get some of those certifications whilst you are still gainfully employed. Another thing that you can do is to really start building your transferable skills in your current role. For every role, there will always be transferable skills that you can take from your current role, and you can just plug it into the new role, and you will be able to work from the get-go. One of such skills that is so important is leadership skills. And when I say leadership skills, I'm not talking about being a manager. No. You don't have to be a manager for you to show leadership. You need to start thinking as a leader. You need to start acting as a leader. You need to start projecting yourself as a leader. These are skill sets that will sell you even when you think they don't amount to much. A leader is not going to come to work late. A leader is going to keep looking to better themselves. They're going to keep wanting to be a better version of themselves. A leader does not use, and we're all Christians anyway, but a leader is not going to speak profanities. A leader is not going to talk down on people. A leader encourages. A leader motivates. These are things that you can start gaining and practicing in your current employment. Another one of those is communication. I get that people want to be the nice people at their role. They want to be the extroverts. They want to be this person that comes in and says, hello, everyone. They don't really think about things that they say at work. We have to be so careful about the things that we say at work. So yes, how you communicate, when you communicate, these are all things that you, again, can start practicing in your first UK role, second UK role, maybe even third or fourth UK role as you are looking to start transitioning. Another skill set that's always so helpful is project management skills. So again, I'm not talking formal qualifications for project management. It could be something as easy as you being able to plan, and then you are able to deliver within this specific time frame that has been given to you. You are always that person who is always on time. When they say, deliver this in 2 weeks, you are delivering in a week and a half. That's all part of project management. You need to start learning those. And all of these skills are transferable across multiple industries. Another thing that you can do is to really start stretching yourself. So in your current role, you can ask your so using that care route that I mentioned earlier, you can ask the management team and say, look, I know I am a care worker, I'm doing this. However, in my previous life, or in my past role in Ghana, Nigeria, I did such and such. Would you mind if I assist you and support you with, I don't know, not balancing the books, but doing some kind of admin activity? I was really good at that. I am a whiz in Excel. Is there anything you need my support with? Things that are outside of your current role should not be outside of your remit, if that makes sense. I think
Yes.
you should continue to ask for where you can easily use any skills that you have now. Subsequently, after all of this is said and done, we must be, because the question is really about moving, preparing to then move to find another sponsor and move industries ultimately. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it is okay to allow yourself time, set yourself a goal to say, look, by this time, I would want to have moved away from this industry and I would like to be in this industry. And based on the timeline that you have set, put different milestones in between and celebrate each of those milestones. Do not be hard on yourself. Please celebrate those milestones. It is important, absolutely important, that we celebrate even the most minute milestones, celebrating, giving God thanks, coming back to say, if your current sponsor says, yeah, absolutely, please come help me with some of the admin activities, give glory to God. Thank God for that win. That's not something that they afford to everyone. That gives us the privilege as Christians to be able to use this in subsequent fields that we then go on to work in.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much for that. And I think you might already have touched up on this question I'm going to ask. It's about how can I effectively communicate my career goals to management without seeming dissatisfied? I think you touched on it in the second question.
Yeah, I did answer that question. Yeah. But I mean, I can add a few more to that actually.
Okay.
So even where you have clearly communicated these goals and told your line manager what it is, or not even, they don't have to be line managers now, but management, where you would like to go, one of the things that, or one error that people tend to make is by being overly specific. So say, for example, you are the office coordinator and you are communicating a goal to be the senior director of procurement. It's like, well, you're here, but you've communicated here, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a bit too broad. I think what you can do as part of your preparation for this conversation is to say, I've seen that the organization, tends to promote people within 2-3 years from one role to the next role. I know I've only been here for 6 months, and ultimately I want to be here in the long term. However, such and such and such skill sets are skill sets that I already had, and I can start supporting the organization with these skill sets. That makes it a smaller chunk to be able to swallow, because again, remember that growth to an organization or career movement, or actually no, job movement, also equals salary increase. So for you, that's a good thing, but to the organization, they're seeing that as a cost. So I'm really trying not to talk too strategically so that everyone would understand what I'm saying. But if you communicate this big jump where you are earning £30,000 now per annum, and you've communicated a goal that you want to earn £200,000 in the next 10 years, as great as that sounds to the organization, that all they're hearing is cost, because to them, they have to pay the cost to educate you, to train you. They have to pay the salary increases, the time that you're going to be away from the business for all the different learnings. Yes, all of these things will ultimately better the organization, but you need to put it in bite-sized chunks. So I am an office coordinator now. How do I become a senior office coordinator within the next 2 years? So even though the organization might say 2 years, in your mind, you should be working towards 12 months. Those are the type of expectations that you should set for yourself. So put it in bite-sized chunks, and then for every win that you have, over-communicate it. Send an email to a bunch of people to say, oh, we've been working on such and such project. We've then been able to deliver it in real time. This is excellent news. Share it with the organization. Absolutely share it. I also even see people on LinkedIn where they put the what's it called? They publicize is the word. Yes, they publicize projects that they have worked on, even internal projects. It doesn't even have to be external. And people outside or people within their connection celebrates them for those wins. So if people on LinkedIn are doing it, why can't you do that within your organization? Celebrate yourself. People are not going to know about what you have achieved unless you tell them, or they would be quiet about it and just overlook it until you tell them, and then everyone will celebrate you. So please do not be shy. Do not be overly humble about the things that you have achieved. These are the things that will help you when you are looking for that next promotion or next role.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. That was very detailed. Thank you. Can you just give us 3 nuggets on how to build a career? 3 nuggets, just very briefly, of key things as immigrants we must make sure we do.
Absolutely. You have come into a market that is incredibly competitive. The UK market is very competitive. One of the things that you should be doing is looking to differentiate yourself from others. What are people overlooking? What are people not taking seriously? These are the things that you should be focusing on. What are some of the the fact that you even are an immigrant is all. I see that as a positive in the sense that you already have experience in another market outside of the UK. Many people only have experiences within the UK market. So you have got experience outside of the UK market. So that is already an achievement. So please, the UK market already being so competitive means that you may need to work a little bit harder to differentiate yourself. What is your niche? Find your niche and build on that niche. Position yourself so that you are you're presented with better opportunities than everyone else. Another thing that you can do is to continuously update your CV. I know even when you're not looking for a role, continuously update your CV. When you've worked a big project and you achieved great results, include that in your CV, because you never know when the opportunity will come knocking. You might just receive a notification from Google to say such and such role is available. And then at that moment in time, you send off your CV, boom, the CV has already been prepared or is constantly kept up to date. Another thing that you can do in this, what's the right word, advanced technological era with the involvement of AI, is to start preparing. I know I tried not to go here, I really tried. However, many roles in the next 5 years are going to become obsolete. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I'm sorry. But these are things that we have to know. Many roles as a result of natural technological advancement. I mean, if you think 30, 40 years ago, where typewriter was the norm, and people who did not adapt to learning how to use computers no longer had jobs. If you think Nokia, who decided to stick to what's it called? Phones with the little buttons and did not advance or evolve to having touchscreen phones, they went bankrupt. Kodak refused to adapt to technology and wanted to remain archaic, if you like. I mean, for a little while it worked, but at some point, everyone moved on. We need to continue to grow with the times. Do not be afraid to learn skill sets that are outside of your comfort zone. Yes, I know that you are 55 years old and it is difficult, in your mind, it is difficult to sit down and think of a new career. But I'm sorry, if you are still thinking you are going to work until the statutory, for now, statutory retirement age, which it's likely to increase to maybe 70, potentially even 75 by the time it gets to my time, you need to continue to evolve with the times. Take the most absolute basic technological courses to keep you up to date. You know, I met someone recently who didn't even know what ChatGPT was. I'm like, we really need to start moving on with the times. You know, if you are not in the workforce, then I get it. But if you are in the workforce, you must continue to evolve, particularly around the use of technology. I'm not expecting you to be a guru. I am not a guru. Don't think I will ever be a guru. But you must continue to put in the effort to show that you are moving with the times. I hope that answers your questions.
Thank you. It's very interesting you say that about ChatGPT, who've recently relocated. And as you know, the culture in Nigeria is very different from the work culture here. So it's taking a lot of people to actually adapt. But it's a good thing you mentioned using AI. It actually is more effective. And you're quite right in saying that a lot of the jobs we have now is going to be obsolete in the next 5 years. So correct. I feel as Nigerians, we need to think outside the box and be a bit more proactive in making sure we update our skills. Absolutely. And we're not just set in our ways. We're not too rigid. A lot of us are quite rigid, but we need to make sure we try to come out of that. I'm looking at the time. We've actually almost run out of time. Thank you very much, Ms. Jacqueline Owolabi. It's been such a rich and very interesting conversation with you. And I hope our viewers have actually gained a lot from this. You have Jacqueline's email at the bottom of the screen. You can contact her. She'll be more than happy to answer any further questions you have. And thank you so much. I really enjoyed the session. And I have learned a lot as well from this session. Quite a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I've loved being here. Thank you for the invite. Thank you.
We want to say a big thank you to you all for joining us today. We hope you've all been blessed by this edition of City Studios. We warmly invite you to be part of our family at RCCG City of David Stevenage, a place where we experience love beyond reason. Join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. for our celebration service and grow deeper in the Word with us at Bible study every Wednesday at 7 p.m. For more information and updates, visit our social media pages and stay connected. City of David Stevenage, where we experience love beyond reason.